Hi everyone, welcome again to Bake Your Way Kitchen. Today we're going to be making another delicious recipe, of course, and it is basically a lemon white chocolate square. We've got a lemon cookie crust, and then we've got a nice lemon vanilla custard filling, and we have a white chocolate ganache on top. And it's kind of a recipe I kind of put together based on other recipes, so I was kind of playing around, so this is kind of an original for me. The first thing you're going to need is 115 grams, that's about 4 ounces, of a lemon digestive. I used a lemon poppy seed digestive biscuit. If you don't have them, you can just use regular graham crackers or something that are crushed. So 115 grams, that's a little over a cup. You're also going to need about a tablespoon of oats and about a teaspoon of sugar. You could add a little more sugar if you felt you needed it. And we will also need melted butter. And so we'll use this. And you'll need about 4 tablespoons, 56 grams. However, depending on the biscuit, I might need to adjust. You may need to add more because the objective, and I need to get my hands dirty, the objective is to moisten all the crumbs. So you might need to add more, it all depends. But I think in this case, this will do the trick. You never really know. Sometimes I need to add a little more, sometimes a little less, and that's good. So this is what you want. You want all the crumbs moistened, just like so. So it's all combined together. You're going to need an 8-inch baking pan, and you're going to need to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And all you have to do now is flatten this in your pan that we have here. So I'm just going to level it out as best as we can. It is a very thin, kind of a thin base, but that shouldn't be an issue. Okay, so there, we have our flattened crust, and that's all you need to do. Now, as I mentioned, you can preheat your oven and put it in for 350 degrees for about 7 to 10 minutes to set. However, I'm actually going to put it in the freezer for about 30 minutes to set, and in the meantime, we'll move on to the other parts of the recipe. So while your crust is either setting in the oven or in the freezer, we will move on to the other ingredients that you will need. This is for the filling. So you will first need 1.5 cups of confectioner sugar. That is probably about 170 grams. And then you're going to need, the dry ingredients first. You'll need about half a tablespoon of lemon zest. Actually, sorry, not half a tablespoon, a tablespoon and a half, teaspoon and a half of lemon zest. Add that in. And we will also need 2 tablespoons of vanilla custard powder. Whoa, that kind of went everywhere. I think that's good. Alright, and then we will move on. Those are all the dry ingredients. So if you want, you can quickly just whisk that. Just whisk it all together if you want it just to be nice and incorporated properly. So the next thing we're going to need to do is add softened butter that's been softened at room temperature. And so basically, I'll just add in the butter. And this is a 1/4 cup, 57 grams. Right, and we're going to start incorporating it, and then I will tell you what to do next. So I've given this a little bit of a mix, and it's still a bit thick, so I'm going to be adding in, I added another tablespoon to my measuring little cup here, and I'm only going to put in about half, just to see how that goes. And we'll go next. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So you're looking, there we go. So I'll just show you what this looks like. Whoops. You can see it's still a little thick, but it's soft. It's soft, it's spreadable. That's what you're looking for. And if you see that yellow color, that really nice yellow color, that comes from the custard powder, believe it or not. Obviously the lemon juice does contribute to that color because obviously it's yellow, but that is where it's coming from. So this is our filling right here. So once our crust is finished setting, we're going to put this on the top and then I'll show you how to finish it off. So our base is now set, so now we're going to add the custard on top, and it's going to be phenomenal. There we go. Still a little more, make sure you get it all. And then using your spatula or knife or something, just spread it out over the top, like so. I do have like a flat edge spatula, which would probably be easier, but I figure why not just deal with this. So I just spread it out, and if you find it hard to spread, you might need to add a touch of milk. If on the contrary, if it's too thick, or if it's too loose, you can add a bit of confectioner's sugar or powdered sugar. This is just enough, so it's not perfect, but just to cover the top, that's all you need to do. So in the meantime, we'll put this in the fridge and make our white chocolate ganache. For our final step, we are going to be making our white chocolate ganache. And the ingredients are very simple. You'll need about a teaspoon and a half of butter. And I'll just grab a small little spoon here. Put that in a double boiler, or you can do this in the microwave. You will need 3 ounces of white chocolate chips and a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. Now you could do this another way. You could boil the cream and the butter together and then pour them over the top of the white chocolate chips and then stir it until it becomes a nice smooth consistency. I'm just going to do it this way. You could do it either way. So I'm going to put it over the stove over medium heat, stirring constantly, and I'll show you what it looks like. The ganache has now melted, as you can see, and one thing I forgot to mention earlier, you can do a chocolate ganache. You could even just, if you could either not top it or do a whipping, well, like just whip cream up and then add that on top. That's an option. I decided to do this way, and basically you're going to take this, you're going to let this cool, and then probably I would say about 10 or 15 minutes at least. And then once you've done that, you can pour it over the top of your squares. I've now taken the squares, as you can see, out of the fridge, and now we're just going to pour this ganache right over the top. And it's not like a chocolate ganache where, like with the white, it doesn't go completely white. It kind of goes kind of like a lemony kind of color, which is good because this is a lemon dessert. And if you haven't guessed already, I really do like lemon desserts. I think they're refreshing, they're very nice. So you just have to spread it out evenly. This dessert, it's pretty quick to make. It's just, just a bit of time for it to set. You have to set it a few times. The interesting thing about this is that the ganache is kind of see-through. You can't really see it. you can see the filling. It's kind of like an invisible. It's like an invisible ganache, basically. Anyway, this is basically it. And as I was mentioning, this is the first time I'm making this, so you're watching me completely witnessing how this is turning out as it's going, and it's pretty awesome, I must say. I was expecting the white chocolate to be a bit more white. However, I was using store-bought white chocolate chips, and the thing about store-bought white chocolate chips is that they've got a lot of wax in it, and it's not the real stuff. Like Usually most white chocolate chips do not have cocoa butter, or cocoa butter. So you want to look for chocolate with cocoa butter, and you'll only find that in good quality chocolate, so take a look at the back of your label. Another thing just to keep in mind when you're mixing your cream and your white chocolate together, make sure to do this on a low heat. Same within the microwave. White chocolate has an easier tendency to scorch, so you want to make sure that does not happen. Anyway, I'm going to put these squares back in the fridge to set. The more they set, the better. I'm going to put it in the fridge probably for about 30 minutes to an hour, probably more like an hour. And then I will take them out, cut a piece, and take a bite. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and take a bite. Oops. This is very good. I'm certainly glad I gave it a try. The lemon taste isn't overpowering. If you tried my lemon pudding cake recipe, if you're not, like, that's a very strong lemon dessert. This is very nice. It's got a good combination, and it's very, very good. I'm gonna go back for more, but take a look down below for the recipe. I hope you give this a try, and I'll see you in the next video.